Hello, this is a layout update. Haven't done one for a little while here. And let me put my water tank in. Anyhow, I have gone ahead and started some scenery in the lower level, as far as right here. I've got some more to do. Probably more in the way of foliage, details, etc., as well as ultimately ballasting the track. But what I have here is my rendition of the Rupert Lackawanna interchange with the Reading. Rupert's kind of just a little village just south of Bloomsburg in real life, and there's not a whole lot there now, although some of the old bridges are still there. The covered bridge is still there. But all there is one track running through, which I think is part of the North Shore Railroad. But anyhow, I'm going to start here on this side of the scenery and kind of show what we've got done here. So the main line comes and splits to a passing siding. I have the Rupert Depot and a water tower here. And then behind that are the interchange tracks, which was an interchange of a lot of freight cars and so on. Behind here is a creek, which is called Fishing Creek, and I have that put in. And kind of as in real life, really close to the railroad bridges is the Rupert Covered Bridge, which is right here. And I put that in over the creek there. There's actually a couple old railroad bridges in this location. A lot of the tracks abandoned. But I put in this bridge, and what this line here represents, the kind of peels off of the interchange tracks here, was a Reading branch line called the Bloomsburg and Sullivan, which meandered up north to an area in, I believe, Sullivan County called Jameson City, and it was a line that was used to haul lumber and lumbering products. Very rural short line. The biggest town on that line was Benton, Pennsylvania, but that's a rendition of that. And then these are the interchange tracks that I put in, which will be used to interchange cars. So this is the junction here, and in the town of Rupert, I did put in, as there are today, several homes. I put them up high on an embankment with a rock retaining wall. And most of those, the majority of them are plastic kits. Some of them are modified. But I'm pretty good done with that area. I probably have a little bit of foliage and a lot of, structures and people and details and so on. But anyhow, there you can see the interchange tracks. And here is kind of a overall view of the area that I did so far, as far as here. Now, I still have a lot of trees to put in. I gotta do some foresting on that hillside there, probably. And I then come to this part that I did on this corner, which I kind of put in a tree farm. You can see the trees up on the hillside there. And just a rural road and a barn and etc. That area is pretty well done. So I've got a scenic this section yet. And when I did the upper deck up here, I had used a lot of puffball trees that I salvaged from my previous layout. Well, they only went as far as most of the upper deck, and now I've got to build new ones, and that's what's taken a considerable amount of time. We then come over that corner, we come to the helix, the left-sided helix of the layout, and what I've done here is built this around like this. And once again, I have some fields in there, but I'll probably put some more foliage in the fields. And the track comes around here, and I have part of a printed backdrop, and I want to forest this area right here. And I may put farm animals, I don't know what. So when the train comes off the helix here in the lower level, it kind of comes around like this. And around like this. And then it curves right here past this tree farm. And there actually is a Christmas tree farm somewhat in this area today, believe it or not. And then this little transition area with the hillside. And then we end up at the first interchange, where I suspect will be a focus of some operations. Dropping off and picking up cars. And the line that it interchanged with here was at one time the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad, which had a branch line from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Northumberland, Pennsylvania, so the Sunbury area. And so probably they would have dropped and picked up cars that were going to northeastern Pennsylvania, to the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area. So I like how the house has turned out. That old Revell farmhouse there. This one I think is an Atlas kit, if I'm not mistaken. This may be as well. This is a 3D printed Craftsman. This, I believe, is 3D printed as well, and this is a kit of unknown origin. So that's kind of a quick overview, how far I've got on the lower deck. And as I suspected, the lower deck is anywhere from 24 to 30 inches wide, depending on where you are. That's much, considerably wider than my upper deck here, which for the most part is probably 16 to 18 inches deep throughout. So you're talking about, for an equivalent length of track, doubling the amount of scenery you have to put in for this lower deck, because the scene's much deeper. So because of that, it's going to take a lot more material and frankly a lot more time to do it right. So I appreciate your time on this update. Next time I'm up here in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I think, I'm going to finish this section off, get all the trees in. And my wife's been helping by actually making the trees, and then I'm installing them. And then we're going to come over here, and I'm not sure exactly, again, what I'm going to put in this this corner area. You can see it's just filled up with scenery material, but I'll come up with something there. And so thanks for watching, appreciate it. And I just poured this water today, and I must say I kind of like how that has turned out on that fishing creek. So that'll be it for now. You folks have a good day.